to get back out here on the pitch, on the ball.
On the pitch? Come on, come on. What's
I missed on that one.
George Tarantini. Hey, you know how I feel. You know how much I love being out here. It's different. You look around, you don't see the batting cage down there, but it kind of looks good down there where it missed. I don't miss that thing at all. It was like made out of tin, like a corn silo or something, but I don't miss that thing at all. They built us a beautiful building in center field. A little more trek to get there, but it's worked out good, and it's just great to be out here. I can't believe how beautiful it is in January 31st, but any day that I can step on the field here at Doak Field is a blessed day for me.
What do you think of the team? All the players said it's a young team. What's your thoughts?
It's young, yeah. I feel blessed. I feel more blessed when we win, but it's a young team. A lot of new guys. Lost a lot. You know, when you lose Sam Highfield and Logan Whitaker, two guys and we lost some other pitchers too, but those two guys were stalwarts for 4 or 5 years, and you lose them and you lose 70% of your offense, from Garrett Pennington to Brandon Butterworth to Alec Makaravich. Eli Serrano was at practice today. He did a heck of a job at first base his freshman year, and sophomore year went out to center field and was unbelievable, and the Mets thought so too, so that's why he's not here. And you lose all those guys, it's tough, but Jacob Cozart behind the plate, catching, we all know, is so big in this game. We've always been fortunate to have a big-time catcher at this place, from Luca Tresh to Patrick Bailey to Jacob Cozart last year, and it's a whole different team, but we're young, and I'm sure we'll take a lot of lumps, but we'll see how we blend as a team, what kind of leadership we have, and if we can stick together long enough to just try to make a push to make postseason.
You mentioned catcher. Have you seen Alex grow from freshman year to sophomore year?
Alex loves the game. He loves the game, and it's a big part of his life. He's not just a guy that plays because he's good. He actually loves the game. So when you love the game, you pay attention. And he learned from Cozart last year. And I think he was around Luca Tresh, maybe working out down in Florida one time. He's talked to Patrick Bailey when Patrick comes back, and he just absorbs everything, and he keeps getting better and better. But Lamphere's, he had a heck of a game today behind the plate, and we got a freshman, Preston Bond, who looks like he's making strides. So it's just big shoes to fill, but Alex works every day, and Lamphere, they work every day to try to fill those shoes.
Josh Hogue had a couple of good hits today in the scrimmage. Considering how his season ended last year, how refreshing it is to see him come back and perform like he did today.
I'm really amazed that he's out there right now. Everybody saw that collision or heard about that collision, and it's probably the most violent collision I've seen since I've been in college baseball. And for him to be back to where he is right now is a big testament to him first and foremost, but to obviously Scott Insel, Luke Buffum, who does a lot of rehab with Josh, and I think there was a trainer in Palm Beach when he goes home for Christmas and in the off season. I think his name was Tanner or something, who did a great job. So a lot of people contribute when you see a guy like Josh Hogue go through what he's gone through to get back on the field. But it's good to see. But any player that has such a devastating injury, it's as much mental as it is physical. Physically, he's back, but mentally, does he know he's back, and can he play like he did last year? Because want to make sure he's running the way a couple of times today. And he seems like he's not sure he's really back. You know what I'm saying? So I hope he's going to get there, because he's a tremendous player and will be a big part of any success we have this year.
You are a hardcore ACC guy. What is it like looking at that schedule and seeing trips to California and Stanford coming here?
Oh, I don't care about that. I don't get into that. You know, the league expanding. I mean, you can talk about that however you want to. It's much more difficult for them. They got to come here a lot more, and we got to go there. But I thought you just meant the league in general. This league is so ridiculous. You talk about us being young. I talk about so many new players, and right now we're so banged up. It's hard to have a scrimmage. But this league is so unbelievably tough. I know preseason rankings, you're kind of ranking, I think, the consistency of how our program has been. Like, I feel like I can give you the top 10 in football right now without looking at anybody's roster for next year. But you're ranking the consistency of the program and who they are usually, and not who they have. But this league, I think preseason rankings, I haven't seen any, but I heard there's like 6 or 7 or 8 teams like always in the top 15 or 20. I know how tough it's going to be, but that's why we got to keep getting better. We got a long ways to go.
Well, guys, talking about this team starting to bond pretty quickly. When you lose so many guys, you bring so many guys in year to year. How important is that for a team to really build that chemistry?
I think it's vital. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's vital. Last year we had 20 new players and 20 returning players, and I thought, how are we going to build chemistry? And because leadership is handed down, we've had such great leadership be a part of this program, like from Andrew Simpson handing it down to Terrence Sine, handing it down to Grant Clyde, to on down, and Trey Turners and Brett Austins and all those guys, and it just keeps getting handed down. But when you get so many new players, it's hard to build that leadership that gets handed down. But last year, I just got to give a lot of credit to a lot of people. Garrett Pennington, 1-year player here from Wichita, and Alec Makaravich, Cozart, Brandon Butterworth. Leadership comes in all different forms. Sometimes it's just the toughness they play with, and people respect that and respond to that, and the consistency of how they practice every day, how they handle losses and handle at-bats and handle tough outings. Sam Highfield, you can lead in so many different ways, so we're going to need that leadership, because it's going to be a season that's going to be challenging, and we got a ways to go. And I think the leadership in that locker room and back of the apartment complex is going to go a long way to how we do.
And how much of that is a testament to what Chris Hart has been able to do in bringing in talent?
Oh, Chris Hart, Clint Chrysler, Bo Robinson, they bring in the talent. You know, we have talent here, and I think we recruit as well and hard as anybody in the country and do a great job on that. But I'm talking about, you never know the character you're going to get. Like, we brought in Garrett Pennington and Makaravich last year. You don't expect that kind of leadership. You know, we knew what we were going to get out of Cozart, right? He'd been here. The leadership, he had seen what you got to do. Sosa saw that last year, and you hope he brings some of that leadership. But you expect that. But when you get a 1-year player like Butterworth and Alec Makaravich and Garrett Pennington, didn't know about the leadership we were going to get from them, they were unbelievable.
Who are some of the guys have you seen taking up that leadership mantle for this season?
I don't think you see leadership until things go bad. You know what I'm saying? That's when you see anybody can lead when your horse is leading out in front. You know, anybody can do that. Anybody can be a winner. It's easy to be a winner. What's tough is when things go bad and see what happens. And so I haven't looked for that or seen that yet. What I have seen is something you mentioned a while ago. The guys seem to be getting along. Like, I don't see just seniors hanging around with, Matt Willison's been here for a while, so is Carson Kelly. And I see those guys hanging around with freshmen or hanging out with sophomores. It doesn't appear to be, and you got to get some clicks in college because it's who you bond with and who you want to go to the movies with or do things, play video games with. But I've seen a lot of things in the dugout that make me think this team has a chance to get along. And anybody can get along. Like I said, when you're winning, can you get along, and can we be tough when things get bad?
How much leverage does this bullpen give you? Not just the back end, but the bullpen in its entirety.
I hope it's going to be good. I mean, we're going to need pitching. I mean, right now, like I said, we lost 70% of our offense, and Makaravich had a year I haven't seen in a long time, and Garrett Pennington was unbelievable, and Jacob Cozart and Butterworth played as good a defensive shortstop as I've seen here. We've had all great shortstops, so it's there's a lot of things, but it's the pitching is going to have to be there, and I hope we can figure out the pieces. We don't know who's starting yet. You usually don't end up with the same starting rotation you begin the season with, so we'll try to figure that out, and hopefully we'll have some of it figured out by conference time, which comes on you really, really quick.
You mentioned pitching. Dom's back. What's it like to have him back and kind of try to build off of his freshman year and kind of work past what happened last year?
Oh, I'm just so proud of Dom. Dom had a chance to go out professionally last year and chose to come back to college. And whatever happens, happens. But you can only be proud of what you see right now. He's worked so hard. He's developed another pitch. He's got all of his pitches better. He got hit a little bit today, but his body language and his professionalism on the mound showed not only me, but it showed every player in that dugout how you're supposed to act when you're playing at a program like this. And but his body's better. He's worked so hard in the weight room and nutrition, and just everything he's done has been better. And but like I say, it's a tough league. But he's a better pitcher today, much better than he was last year.
Elliott, can you just speak about the competition that's around here? Duke, Carolina, ECU, Camel, all of that. That you probably won't
You don't have to go too far to get beat around here. I'll tell you that. It's unbelievable. I don't care. Carolina, East Carolina, Wilmington, Campbell, Greensboro, High Point. I mean, you don't have to go far. Everybody's good in this state. So you talk about the ACC all the time because it is, one of the top leagues, if not the top league in the country. I don't get into best and all this kind of stuff. I don't like to play those arguments. But we know it's one of the top leagues in the country. But what goes unsaid is what you're talking about. Our non-conference schedule is so tough, and you just don't get a break. You just don't get a break. And if you're not good in this league, I'll argue baseball of all the ACC sports, I'll argue baseball might be the best of the toughest to win in any sport in the ACC. It's just unforgiving, and you got to be good. I hope we can get there.
Speaking of a non-conference schedule, you get an early test down in Jacksonville in that invitational down there with the Jumbo Shrimp Stadium. Just talk about excitement for that, trying to get that test out of the way.
Yeah, you want to play good people. That's how you get better. But you take your bumps. If you're not ready for it, you can lose confidence as a team, and it can make things tough. But not only do we always want to play a tough schedule, but the ACC wants us to play a tough schedule to keep our RPI so we get teams in the postseason. That's what it's all about, and they've encouraged us. There's a tournament thing called Peak, and they're playing tournaments all over the country, and they've encouraged us to go there. I think we might be going there next year to play in a tournament in Texas that has all good teams, and we're going to Puerto Rico next year to play all good teams. So this year we're going to Jacksonville. I think it's Ohio State, Alabama, and Coastal Carolina. So you might come back 0-3, and RPI only helps if you win a little bit. It might help the league RPI, but you got to win a little bit. So, but we've always tried to do that. I just hope we can get this group ready for that test. It's just, like you said, it's going to be a challenge with all these new guys.
Last
one's for Coach. Last one.
Touched on Drew Lamphere earlier. It seems like he's kind of that guy that might fly under the radar a little bit with people, a lot of people, rightfully so, excited about Alex Sosa, but it seems like Lamphere might be a guy that could take that next step.
He flies under the radar because he's not flashy, he doesn't talk a lot. But I told all the catchers after the scrimmage today, they caught really good. Our pitching coach said something about how good they caught today. Because if we're going to have a good pitching staff, having good catchers is going to help that pitching staff grow. And I thought all three of them did a great job today. I thought Lamphere was really, really good personally. I thought he was really good back there. He's steady, and he's gone through injuries and sickness. He was out maybe 2-3 weeks this preseason. He had a concussion for like a couple weeks. And it seems like concussions go longer in baseball than they do in football. It seems like in football they go right back out there. And baseball seems like we're out a little bit. So he missed time with that, and then he came down with sickness. And but I always am amazed at how he goes about his business. He's that guy that goes about his business day to day to day. And you may not notice because he doesn't flash and he doesn't talk. And then you look up, and just like you said, that's a good baseball player right there. Thank you.